Hi, thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how Google ranks your website in the search results and how you can take advantage of that to drive some more traffic to the site and calls to the business by getting it listed on the first page. So just for comparison, what I've done is taken one of the top listings in each of these searches, plumbing and HVAC, as well as your website, and then I put them into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the information that Google finds on your site and then ranks its strength and trust on a scale of 1 to 100. So just briefly looking at some of these numbers, we can see why Google is ranking these higher than yours, but let me go into a little bit further detail on what these numbers mean and how you can improve them. So when Google is determining how to rank a website, it uses two different factors. The first is what's called the authority or trust that it has in your site, which is basically just a popularity contest. Now, this authority is gained when other websites link or refer back to yours, and they act as an endorsement that Google uses to build trust because others are vouching for you. So just to quickly define these, if, say, the local news station did an article on their website for the top 10 best HVAC companies in the Allentown area, and in that article, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website, that would be considered one backlink from one referring domain. Now, there are many different types of websites that can refer back to yours, including any kind of blog or posting sites, press releases, maybe any kind of organizations that you've done work for in the past, maybe the suppliers that you work with. However, one very important type is what's called a citation. Now, a citation is any time that your name, address, and phone number appear in an online directory, like we have here, Super Pages, Yellow Pages, Yelp, Better Business Bureau. Now, these are usually all free. It just takes some time to find them, sign up the business, and then input all the information exactly as it's shown in Google. So as you can see, just based on the number of referring domains or referring websites that these other companies have, this is why Google has more trust and places more authority with these sites, and therefore places them higher up in the ranking on the search results. Now, just one important thing to note here is it's not just a matter of the sheer quantity of these websites, it's also the quality. So we need to make sure that we're linking to sites that are relative to your industry or your field and from places that Google trusts. So we can't just get any old website to link back to yours, because though it'll add a number, it won't actually add any authority in the eyes of Google. Now, the second factor for ranking your website is the content on the page. So if we take a look at your keywords, these are all the words and phrases that are being typed into Google search that Google is finding on your website, as well as the volume, the number of times per month they're being searched. So this is where we do a little bit of research and we try to find all the highest volume keywords relative to the services that you offer and the locations that you offer them in, and then we make sure that those are being included on your website. So just to use an example, if we take the search that I used for plumber in Allentown, I found you on the 4th page, but 600 people a month are searching for that exact keyword phrase. If you were on the 1st page, those 600 people will be seeing your website when they search, and we usually use a very conservative metric here and say only 10% of those will actually click in and become a lead and call your business. And if we're even more conservative and say maybe only a third of those actually become customers and get a service done, you could be looking at a potential of up to 20 new customers per month just off of this one keyword phrase. And then we repeat that same process for all the high volume keywords for any kind of services you want to offer in service areas. So obviously the profit margin per job changes. However, you can see just the sheer number of leads coming into the business can definitely add up to some revenue at the end of the month and at the end of the year. Now, there is a formula that Google uses to find these keywords on your site. So if we check it out here, as far as the layout is concerned, it looks really good. Customers can come right at the top and get all the information they need. It's obviously mobile optimized, so they can click the call with one click. The only issue that I see right up front is just the amount of content on the page. The reason I say that is because as far as Google is concerned, layout doesn't really matter. It's just a computer that's going to come in and count all the words and text on the page. Now, generally, it's looking for a minimum of about 1,500 to 2,000 words because it assumes that the more information you have, the more of an expert you are, and then the more likely it is to recommend you. However, it also depends on what your competitors are doing because everything in the world of Google is just a race. So we just have to beat the other competitors in whatever they're doing. So if they have 1,500, we have 2,000. If they have 2,000 words, we do 2,500. Now, while it's counting the words, it's also searching for those keywords. So any kind of service that you offer and then the areas that you offer it in. Now, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play, because you're only allowed to have one of those keywords for every 100 to 150 words of text on the page. So the more keywords that you want to be found for, the more content that we have to add to the page to be able to qualify. So if we go back to the search results, the first thing that's going to pop up is what's called the map pack. Now, this is actually a pretty important area to try to get into, because statistically speaking, almost half the people will just click on one of these top 3 companies because they're right at the top of the page. Now, to be listed in here is free. You just have to fill out your Google business profile, which is part of the Maps app, so it can be done right from a smartphone. You need to fill out as much information as possible, including all the services that you offer, the areas that you offer it in, even the hours of operation. Then you want to add photos that are geotagged within your service area, as well as posts onto your Google profile as often as you can. Have customers leave reviews, and then you want to get as many of those citations, your name, address, and phone number. You want those to be listed in more directories than anybody else on this list. So then underneath that, this is what we call the organic search results. This is where the more authority or trust that Google has in your site, the higher up in the list that you're going to rank. So this is where all those backlinks from those referring domains comes into play, because we want to build more trust and more authority in the eyes of Google, so that way it continues to rank yours higher and higher until it's up at the top of the list. Now, I hope this information was helpful and allows you to scale some of the online presence, but please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, or if you'd like me to go into any kind of further detail. We could also talk about some of your goals of the business, and then I can do some research on my end to see exactly what it would take for you guys to reach those. And I do appreciate your time and any kind of feedback you have on this video, so please let me know what you thought. Thanks, and I hope this helps.